Hey guys, super excited. Today we're going to talk Sierra Interactive, one of the best website CRMs. Most of you guys know that I've been a huge fan. I've used it myself. I've looked at all the other website CRMs. And in the past, I used to give you guys updates about what are the latest things that Sierra is doing and what are some of the exciting improvements and fixes that they've been implementing into their business. So today I got Scott Selverian, who is the Director of Industry Relations. And I wanted to find out from him and share that with you guys. What's on the docket for 2025 for Sierra Interactive? What are they up to help us agents to be able to improve how we're using our website and our CRM to create more efficiencies, nurture more leads, create more appointments, and get more sales ultimately? Scott, thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah. Look forward to hearing a little bit more about what's in the forecast for 2025. And again, if you're not a current user, then this is a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit about the mindset and the culture in Sierra Interactive. Those friends are already on it. Buckle up. Let's get excited about what's coming. So Scott, why don't you get us started with what you're the most excited about for the Sierra Interactive?
Yeah, man, Patrick, thanks for having me. We do have an exciting roadmap coming next year and some more things that we're still talking about. The number one thing that I'm super excited about, and preface this with, yes, I work for Sierra full time. I'm actually a Sierra client and have been for the past 6 years. So my excitement is not only that we're going to help our existing clients, selfishly, it's going to help me too. I definitely believe in the platform and what we've got coming down the line. There's a number of different things we're working on, a lot around the design and look of your website and the user experience, right? One of the things that we launched this past year is a new site type. So those of you out there, we've got now 3 different site type offerings. So it's basically, when I say site type, it's design and look of a site, and they're all just designed a little bit different. The latest one we came up with is called our Pinnacle site, and that is really focused on what the portals and the users are used to, right? So it's designed after that portal experience.
Hey guys, pardon the interruption. 2 things. Number 1, for those of you that are Sierra users and are in the Tom Ferry Elite Coaching, hey, make sure you reach out to me and or Scott. We are going to be hosting an event prior to the Elite Retreat in Orlando. So that is going to be January the 19th. So reach out to me, and I'd love to get all the Tom Ferry Elite coaching clients together. There's probably about 100 of us that are using Sierra Interactive. So let's get together and let's make sure we connect and start masterminding as a group. And then number 2, for those of you that are interested in learning more about Sierra Interactive and you're looking at a new website CRM combination, hey, use my affiliate link down below. That's a referral link that absolutely supports me and the growth of my channel. So I really appreciate you doing that. Book a demo with them. Have a great conversation with those guys about what they do, how they do it, and what their costs are. And I promise you, the features and benefit ratio, what they offer compared to the rest of the great options in the industry, this is definitely one of the best decisions. And love to invite you in also with a bunch of Tom Ferry coaching clients as well at that next event. So let me know. Thanks so much. So this is the original site. Right. And then I've seen some great clients who have the second version, which has the 3 call to actions, right? Yep. So I've got that one. Yep. So yeah, let's take a quick look at what the new one looks like. And
yeah, I'll run you through, just like you said, our existing site types. This is the pro site that you're familiar with it. It was one of our originals. Yep. Yeah. Super easy user experience where you've got the search bar right in front. Users are used to that. Very property focused, where you've got properties on here, you've got communities on here, things like that, right? And then you mentioned the next newer site type, which is our A site. Completely different look, right? Like you said, we got 3 calls to action right in the beginning. And we like to pride ourselves on the calls to action throughout the homepage that enables the user to do something and get in contact with the agent or put their information in so the agent can capture that. I'd like to say that this site is a little bit more team accomplishment oriented, right? While we've still got the IDX search capabilities, you'll notice that there's no search bar here. It's more 3 different options for calls to action. And then as we scroll down, it's more about the accomplishments of the team, and as well as reviews and things like that. So those are the differences there. If you look at our newest site type, the Pinnacle site, like I said, this is designed after the portals that are out there. The users are used to seeing this sort of design.
Yeah.
And I also think this is almost a little bit of a combination between the two, where you've got the search bar right in front, you've got calls to action up top here, and you've got properties right front and center, but also you've got opportunities to highlight your team's accomplishments as well, and reviews and things like that. And you can highlight your agents. So that was super cool, and that was part of what we focused on in regards to improving the user experience in the IDX side of our websites. Looking at next year, we're going to continue that focus of redesign in regards to the listing detail page. And let me show you what I mean by that. Our listing details are, if I click in here, so this is our listing detail page, right? It's looked the same for a while. It's got a lot of information on it. It does have calls to action here for the user to be able to contact and register on the site, right? And then obviously you've got all the information that's being pulled from the MLS through the IDX connection.
And then two evolutions for those that are not familiar, but one evolution a couple years back was the call to action followed you along over there on the right. And then the second evolution that was last year, which I think is they added a space for adding more details to the listing page to increase the quality of your SEO score per listing property. So these were just a couple things that happened in the past for some of my friends who may be looking at Sierra for the first time. These were two huge improvements that happened in the last probably 18 months that are really big game changers for success and conversion.
Yeah, and I appreciate you highlighting that, Patrick. Obviously, we're very well known for our SEO framework. Being able to continue to build on that is super exciting.
Yeah.
And I was actually just looking for an example of that, but you can see here there's some additional information that wasn't on the MLS where this is the MLS description. Yeah.
Huge. This is old news, but for those that are hearing this for the first time, these were amazing updates. Yeah. Forgive me for interrupting you. Go ahead, Scott.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you jumping in there. And also, as you can see here, you're able to highlight if you've got a lender partner. You can, and we launched this a while ago as well, but since we're here, I'll point it out. So just an additional call to action on that site to spur interest and be able to get people to register and obviously capture their information.
Yep.
So you'll notice a lot of information here in regards to the detail on the property. When we go ahead and do what we're calling the IDX facelift. So we're going to change this around a little bit, change the look and feel a little. And I think I've got a screenshot I can share with you.
Like a mock-up?
Yeah, I had one. So this is a mock-up of what it's going to look like. Nothing is solidified yet. Our product team is still working on it, but this sort of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like, where the information is just going to be a lot more prevalent down the bottom versus where it was up on top. Kind of look a little bit crowded up here.
I agree. That's a great call.
Yeah, I have to look for it. I've been looking at this screen for 6 years, so I know exactly where to go. But for a new user visiting your site, I think it's going to just be a much better flow for that user experience.
Yeah, the heavy image first, then move into the details second.
Right. Exactly. So this will be that top part of the screen. And then the details are just really nicely broken down. And then what we're going to have here is just an easy menu up top that the user can just navigate to the different pieces of information within that listing detail page.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's very similar to what Zillow did with their sidebar.
Right.
They put property details, location, and then you can click on it. It'll drive you right down to it. So
exactly.
That's really good. That's a great improvement.
Should be really cool. And again, we want to keep those calls to action on the page front and center for that user to be able to take advantage of. So you can either set up an appointment right from here or reach out and contact the agent, things like that, or the mortgage broker.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that'll be really cool. We talked about this. I'm going to mention it. It is coming for our existing users. And Patrick, you're aware of this. We have what we call unknown number lead routing. So if somebody calls into your Sierra number and they're not yet a lead in the system, that lead routing will actually capture their number so you can then follow up with them. Whereas previously you had to manually enter that number into the system. We will be coming out with unknown text lead routing. So obviously many more people appreciate texting, and we will be able to now route an unknown text, whereas right now it's just based on phone calls.
Tell me more about that. Yeah, I'm curious what you mean by this.
Sure.
Give me a live example of how this works.
Absolutely.
It sounds super interesting.
So when you set up your Sierra systems, you're going to have dedicated numbers that are assigned to you and each of your agents. You'll have a Sierra phone number. Everybody's going to get a dedicated number within Sierra. So anytime somebody calls that number, it knows to be routed to that particular agent. So we obviously encourage people to really leverage those numbers at a high level. And when I say that, put it on your advertising, put it on your open house advertising, post it on your website, because anybody who uses that number, you'll be able to capture them in your Sierra system. So in the past and the way it is now, if somebody calls that number and they're not already a lead in your Sierra system, we will now capture that number as a phone call, set up a new lead for you. Now the lead's going to be called no name because we don't know that lead's name, but you can actually have automated follow-up taken just based on that phone call. And it also enables you and your agents to follow up on that number, find out who the person is, why they call, things like that.
Got it. Great.
Yeah. Now, just to give you clarity, before we had that set up, Sierra would capture that number, but it would just be like, hey, this number called, and you couldn't really do anything with it. You had to copy and paste it into a new lead record, and it was just a little manual process.
Yes.
We're obviously in the business of enabling agents and making their lives easier. This is one way to do that.
If someone calls my number, I didn't answer it, it goes into a new lead unknown. In the lead routing, I could send an auto text that says, hey, sorry I missed your call. I look forward to hearing from you. If you want to text me here, let me know how I could support you, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I could. So that automatically could occur, which would be pretty rad.
Exactly.
That's very useful.
So the call routing has been in place for quite a while now, but we didn't tag in the text routing. So in other words, if somebody calls, you can route that lead. If somebody texts, it's still a manual process of taking that number that texted in, creating a new lead record, and then being able to follow up. Yeah. So this unknown text routing is actually going to solve that problem, and you'll be able to route it just like you do a phone call.
That's great.
And capture it as a lead, which is really very important.
Yeah, that's really cool. Today's episode is sponsored by my favorite virtual assistant hiring company, Sphere Rocket VA. I've created a great relationship with them, so I'm very proud to offer a sponsorship link for those of you like me who are looking to build their digital marketing team. I currently have 3 virtual assistants, one to help me manage my coaching business and all the admin, and then one video editor, and then one to help me with my digital marketing. If you are looking to build a nice little team, Sphere Rocket VA is absolutely worthy of your choice. Once you schedule an appointment, the link down below, I will shoot you over an email with all of my resources and the information to the VA Digital Marketing Mastermind that you can come join. So I look forward to connecting with you and helping you build your digital marketing VA team.
And Lead Engage is our, what we used to call Sierra AI. For those of us who've been with us for a while, we did have, and we still do have the Sierra AI product. We're rebranding and relaunching that as Lead Engage. Obviously, you know better than anybody, AI is the thing, right? So we would be remiss not to have an AI solution. We've had it for several years. We've worked on it and repackaged it, and that's going to be coming out, I believe, first quarter.
Yeah, so that's like basically the AI chatbot at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for those of you, for my friends out there that have not started to experiment with that, I would say that it's been an evolution on a spectrum, and where we are today is going to be incredibly good. Like now it's good. Like when I go on and I chat with ChatGPT or Claude or even Gemini, the results that you get from chatting away with the AI is incredible. And so now imagine that being integrated into a chatbot on your behalf. In the past, these chats were mostly automated, mostly Q&A based. They're really stupid. Now, today, this is incredible. You're getting an unbelievable resource. So is there any kind of new intel on kind of what the improvements are and how that's working?
I don't have that, as I haven't been involved in the beta, but I think people are going to be pretty happy with it. And just to have that option to be able to turn it on for certain leads and not turn it on for other leads and things like that, it's going to have some pretty flexible capabilities to it.
Yeah, I actually just saw the other day, Google Gemini is now the chatbot. In part of my Google Workspace, it was like, hey, chat with Google Gemini, which is brilliant because as we all know, chatting away with kind of a general bot that's just going through Q&A versus an AI that's going and actually interacting and actually processing information and then giving you 1,000 times better of a response. That's pretty brilliant. So looking forward to seeing that.
That's actually exactly what it's going to be. And it's going to be via text message. They're going to be trying to engage your leads via text message as if they're you. It should be a really cool other tool for our clients to use to help engage their database and engage their new leads.
Nice, I love it.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. And the last thing, and unfortunately, I was really hoping to have some screenshots of this, but I don't. So I'll explain it the best I can. We're completely revamping our search experience on the user interface. What do I mean by that? Most websites, and ours as well, when you search, you're usually searching the criteria that the agent put into the MLS, right?
And yeah, the fields.
As an agent myself, I can say, I can bust on agents a little bit. People aren't always as accurate as they need to be in those checking off those boxes when they're entering their listings into the MLS, right? Mm-hmm. But I do feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, that people take a lot more time with the actual description of the listing, right? And especially now, like we're talking about AI. I know a lot of agents are using AI to really beef up their listing descriptions and make them sound really nice and things like that. When I was in production, I hired a VA to do that stuff for me as well. So
yeah, we used to pay $100 to get someone to write up a listing description because we hated it so much.
Exactly.
So now I just go to ChatGPT and put in the information. It spits out something better than I've had in 10 minutes. Easy. It's great.
So easy. So agents really focus on that. Our new search experience, we're calling it Sierra IntelliSearch. So think of it in a couple different ways. Number one, it's going to be able to search basically any information that's in that MLS listing, including the listing description, including the criteria that the agent has entered in the listing. So just a super robust search experience. And this is also going to be on our, what we call the CAA, so the back end. So in other words, it's going to be on the user interface for people who are visiting your website. It's also going to be on our back end for when you or your agents are setting up searches for your clients. Right now, not for nothing, you have to click a lot of boxes to set up a search within any system, right? Because you want to make sure you get it as close to what that client is looking for. So what the
so I could type it, I want to create a search with primary on the first floor, right? And so I would then add that as a criteria into the save search or the e-alert as now a new field that if it's anywhere inside of the MLS information, then to show that property. That's awesome.
Yeah, let me show you. So this is our current search experience on the back end of Sierra, right? So I talk to you, Patrick, as a client. You say you want to buy a house in this development and you want it to all this different criteria.
Right.
I don't want to just send you a bunch of junk, right? Like I want to get pretty zeroed in. So you'll see that whatever is
there's a lot. You guys put a lot of boxes in there. There's a lot of options.
And it's basically being fed directly from the MLS, right? Whatever options the MLS has, we map to that. So is it usable? Sure. Is it a great experience for our clients? Not really.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So IntelliSearch is going to enable you to just put in first floor master, and it'll automatically, not only is it going to automatically pull those listings that match that, it's going to populate pictures of those listings on the right-hand side. So this is going to move over to the left, and then the actual listings that meet the criteria are actively going to populate as you continue to enter different criteria.
Very cool. That's a great experience.
Which is going to be...
Customers will have that as an experience, and then we will also on the back end have that experience.
Right. That's exactly
wow,
right.
That actually just made the tool significantly more useful.
Yeah, right now we'll show, as you start putting criteria in, you can see the number of properties found. And to see the actual listing as a tile come up, you'll eventually be able to exclude listings if you want. If there's certain listings that the client already saw or isn't going to be right for the client, you can exclude them from sending them those listings.
Nice. So we can really take it to the next level by the value proposition of I'll create a custom list of properties for you that have this kind of unique feature. Exactly. And then I can go in and I can scan the MLS and find that for you, which most online searches, you can't do that. And I'll be able to pull that and I'll be able to deliver that to you. Would you like me to do that for you? Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, that's very cool.
So I did find a slide. I can give you a visual on this. So here's the existing search experience that I just showed you, right? With a lot of different criteria.
Look at that. Looks great.
Yeah, so you'll have the search criteria on the left, right? Whatever you put in there, it's going to start populating with the available property.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be huge. That's the one, it's probably the largest project that I talked about. We've got a lot to go through that. They're designing it. We've got a beta testing program to come. So the rollout is coming. It's going to be a game changer for both the users on your website as well as for our clients. So
awesome. Scott, thank you so much for this great little update on what's happening with Sierra Interactive. And we'll do this again. And then for those of you that want to learn more about Sierra Interactive, make sure you go down below and click the link and book a demo and learn about all your options and the cost basis and what they offer. So down below is a little link for you can schedule an appointment. All right, Scott, thank you so much. And then let's do it again and let's talk a little bit about CRM, maybe on the next session on how we can help these guys do a better job with using the CRM to produce a better result. So let's do that next.
Yeah, man, I'd love to do that. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate it.
You got it. Perfect.